Hey, what is it, be sexy beast, GhostSickness Tristan here, and today I'm making a little bit of a different video. I have a confession to make, you guys. Now, some of you will know this and some of you won't. If you're friends or family to me, then you probably already know this, but if you don't know this already, I have a confession to make, and it's the fact that I wanted to name the video this title, but you know it's YouTube and you gotta clickbait a little bit. It's not really extremely clickbait, but I'm a sex addict. So if you guys didn't know, I actually am a sex addict. I mean, I'm addicted to sex, and the first step to overcoming an addiction is admitting that you have one. And so I just kind of wanted to make this video to let you guys know a couple of things. I do have a follow-up video to make next week talking about, you know, quitting porn and masturbation and stuff like that, because that kind of ties into this video. So I kind of wanted to make this video first as like a preliminary video, and then next week kind of sum it all up and make sense of everything. And kind of let you know what I'm working on and where I'm at. So anyway, guys, I'm a sex addict, and I've known for a couple years now. I knew basically since my ex and I broke up. There's a couple of symptoms of it that separate it from just being someone who likes sex, and that's kind of what I wanted to go over in this video and let you guys know what kind of difficulties this addiction has caused me and kind of what it leads to. Basically, if you guys didn't know, I do have an addiction to sex. It is different than just liking it. I took a test, which I'll link in the description below, and the very first time I scored a 9 out of 20. Now, 6 is about average, so it says most addicts score over a 6 or higher, and the very first time I took it, I scored a 9, which again is not that high, but again, on a test that's basically asking you, you know, have you rejected friends for sex? Have you, you know, spent time away from family for sex and all this other stuff, instead of just traditional questions like, oh, do you like sex? Do you enjoy it? It's like, no, dude, of course, like most people do. But anyway, I took it today, a year later, and I actually scored a 16 out of 20. So that's definitely toward the higher end of the spectrum in terms of sex addiction. Like I said, most people score below a 6, so I'm very curious if you guys take the test to put your answers in the comment section below. It's a 52-question test. If you haven't had sex before, this test is not relevant to you. I'm sorry. So you can just comment like 0. My buddy who's a virgin took the test, and he got 2 out of 20, right? So it's really not for people who haven't had sex already, because it'd be hard to figure out if you're addicted. That's like saying you're addicted to cocaine and never having tried cocaine before, right? It's just, you can't do it, right? So anyway, it asks you questions like if you ignore friends for sex, and if you've spent time away from work for sex, and like pretty much stuff like that, right? Have you ever paid for sex and all this stuff, which I haven't done, which if I had done that, I would have scored a 20 for sure. But I mean, it's a really interesting test for sure. And again, it's not like, oh, if you take this test and you score a 6 or higher, like you need to go see a therapist. And that's not really what this video is about. I just kind of wanted to talk to you about my journey with sex addiction and kind of what it's led to, and if I can give you any advice, what to do in that situation, and kind of how I'm working through it, which again is what next week's video is going to cover, because that I think is extremely important of a video, more important than this one. But like I said, this one's just kind of to lay the foundation for next week's video, which again I might upload early if I'm ahead of schedule, but I gotta stick to the schedule first, which is weekly, guys. Hello, on Friday, for the first time. Crazy, right? But it's still something that I think about every day, multiple times, and that to me is the hardest part. Like, it used to consume my thoughts like all the time. Like if I wasn't thinking about something important, I would be thinking about sex or how to get sex again or do something like that. And it become really toxic because I haven't really been in a proper relationship since my ex and I broke up almost 2 years ago. So about, fuck, how long, if you do the math in months, 22 months ago, right? So in March of 2016, that's when we broke up, and then I've been basically single ever since. Like, I had a very short relationship last June through July, which I'll let you guys know about in a separate video. I need to write that down. I need to remember that. I gotta tell you guys that story. It's a girl I dated from Tinder. Like, ever since her and I broke up, I realized that I had a sex addiction, and then I had this goal to sleep with, you know, X amount of girls before that new year, and it was a really kind of bad thing to shoot for. It really shouldn't be something that you're looking to do, but it was something that I wanted to do mostly for experience sake. And one of the main issues that I had was because I would be addicted to sex, porn, and masturbation, I could never quit porn or masturbation, so I would always have those and then have sex as well. And then the sex, because of porn and masturbation, really wouldn't be as great, and especially would be a deterrent for me not to wear condoms. Because I wouldn't wear condoms, I ended up contracting chlamydia, which sucked a lot, and took some pills for that, got rid of that. But still, it was an experience that I never want to relive, right? I never want to contract another STD or STI. I think that was an absolutely horrible and eye-opening experience, right? Which, again, is one of those things where it shouldn't have to happen to make an impact on you, but it does make a pretty big impact on you. But fun fact, 1 in 2 people will get one before they're 25. So just stay safe out there, guys. It's a crazy world. But basically, chlamydia is like the fucking flu or like the common cold of STDs, right? So it's really not that bad, but it still sucked to have and sucked to call people about. So I just really don't want you guys to go through that. And like, I've neglected friends for sex. So like, let's say I'm having a night where I was going to play Counter-Strike with the guys, but I can get laid instead. I'm going to go get laid instead of playing Counter-Strike. And again, a lot of you guys might be like, oh, it's just a matter of priority. Like, it's no big deal. Hold on one second. So yeah, I've neglected friends for sex. I've even neglected like having girlfriends for sex with multiple partners. Like, I would rather have that in most cases, to be honest, unless I meet a girl that I really like. And it's not that one person isn't enough to satisfy me. I mean, that's definitely not true. There's something called polyamory, whereas basically you have so much like love and lust that you can spread it around multiple partners, right? And you don't think one person's enough to handle it all, which I disagree with that. I think one person is enough for me because I was very sexually satisfied in the relationship that I did have. It's just, I just haven't met anybody that I really want to date since then, because sexual compatibility is a very important factor for me, and more important than a lot of other things, to be honest. And that to me is one of the problems too, is just like, oh, like I'm going through like this dating checklist, right? And I'm just like, oh, well, they got to have this kink and they got to have that. And I could make a totally separate video on the kinks that I have if you guys want to hear about that, which I don't fucking know if you do or not. So let me know in the comments below if you do want to hear about that. But yeah, I've neglected having girlfriends if I don't have to, just to have regular sex with someone, because I don't really think that's the way you should look at things. Like, some people look at like relationships like, oh, cool, dude, you get to have regular sex. And it's like, yeah, but if I get to have regular sex with multiple people, then why would I not do that? And obviously now I'm staying safe out there, you know, wearing condoms and stuff, being as safe as I can. But it can still happen, right? And that's the scary part about it. And I don't know, man. Ideally, I would have sex with multiple different girls, but have them all exclusive to me. That way I could avoid wearing protection. But that's just really not that realistic to look for. And you guys are like, oh, you know, have you ever considered trying an open relationship? Well, honestly, open relationships aren't my thing. And what's weird is I get sexually jealous, which is ironic, right? So let's say I'm dating a girl and I'm sleeping with her. I'm only going to want to sleep with... No, I'm not going to only want to sleep with her, but I want her to only sleep with me. Now, again, the reality of the fact is I'm not going to cheat on them. I don't know if you guys know this or not, but like, I've never cheated on someone or done anything sexual with someone else while I'm in a relationship, but it's still something I think about, right? And I still, like, if I'm having sex with someone and like I like them, right, and I want them to be like my girlfriend or whatever, then I'm only going to want them to have sex with me. And again, they want the same, so that's a reasonable expectation. And so it's not like I would want an open relationship to only be like one-sided. Like, I think that's hypocritical. I wouldn't ask for something like that, but it's still something that I think about. It's still something that I desire, because I'm like, oh yeah, you know, my girlfriend's attractive, but her best friend though, you know. And it's just these, I don't know, I feel like there's a normal amount of that, which is totally fine, but then there's my level of it, which is really not fine. And so I'm doing multiple things to combat it, but at the end of the day, I just kind of want to make this video to let you guys know like what I'm working on, what I'm fighting for, what I'm dealing with, and make you guys understand next week's video even more, because it has been a problem for me. It has been something that drives me. It has been something that is obsessive and takes over my thoughts and just absolutely controls me to no end. And it gets really frustrating when it doesn't go my way, or when, you know, I think it's going to happen and it doesn't end up happening or whatever. It can really ruin your day, man. And so that's where the addiction part of it plays in, and it can get you down more than it brings you up. And I don't think sex is unhealthy by any means, but there's a certain amount of it in the way that you look at it, right, that can affect whether it's healthy or not. And I think if it's an obsession, it's really not healthy. But if it's just something that you do, you know, regularly or semi-regularly, I don't think it's bad at all. But like, if you're paying hookers and doing all the stuff and like, you know, illegal activities and stuff like that, then I think it's really a problem. But yeah, just kind of want to let you guys know something that I've been thinking about. I've been contemplating making this video for like a year now, and now things have changed a little bit because I am even higher up that list than I used to be. But again, I'm not going to get anywhere closer to 20, because that would involve me to do illegal things like pay for sex and otherwise, right? But anyway, guys, I really hope you did enjoy this video. If you did, please leave a like on it. If you do take that sex test score, addiction test, please let me know what your score is in the comment section below. And if you guys want to hear a video dedicated to like what I'm into sexually, kinky, all that shit, they could make an interesting video. I think you guys would like it quite a bit. Stay sexy, you beasts. I'm GhostSickness. I fucking love you guys, and I'm out.